You know, I can't remember the last time I saw Tiny. I hope he comes back. Been hanging out in this pool, just waiting for him. I have a crush on Tiny. I hope I'm his type. It's a beautiful day. See you tonight. I fixed my little... I used the super glue. Didn't do a great job, but it's fixed. Cookies. Coffee. Okay. Off to work. Oh, you know what? I do that all the time. Sorry. So, it is Tuesday. Let's see how bad traffic is. I was trying to get on the road earlier, but that didn't happen. So I'm hoping that it's not going to be a giant clog fest in front of the school. And T, I showed the car. T was asking what kind of car I had. She was trying to figure it out. It's dirty, but I have a BMW Z4. Hardtop convertible. And no, it wasn't like some really expensive car. It's a 2009. Bought it used. So it's an old car. But I like it. It only had like 30,000 miles on it when I bought it. Okay, hold on. Alright, I bought that pop socket bracket in the car, but it's $7.50. I'm leaving 5 minutes later than I normally would, and I don't know how it's going to be in front of the school, so I didn't grab it. We'll install that sucker later. And don't forget, you've got that little device monitoring how you drive. Be a good girl. Okay, let's go. So, I filmed myself painting up my picture frames for my 2 Soulmates, but while I was actually doing it, I was catching up on Nancy's videos, Red Rose. So I wasn't talking, I was just recording it not knowing exactly what I was going to use it for, and not knowing, you know, how long I'd be quiet. But for any of those of you who are familiar with Nancy and her channel, Red Rose, she has been going through a really, really tough time, and she can use all the support she can get. She's been struggling with depression. She's been having a depressive episode for over 3 months now, and she is really, really having a tough time dealing with it. She's not coming out of it quickly. I don't want to get into it. It's for her to say, but she does talk about it a lot in her videos. I mean, that's the main focus of her videos lately, and she could use your love. So if any of you already know Nancy, go give her some love. She could use it. She needs to know people are out there for her. So that's all I'm going to say on that. But my whole point was that I have this long video with no dialogue of me painting up my picture frames, and when I'm driving back and forth to work, there's really nothing to look at, so I figured I would record the audio and stick it over the top of the video, which was my original intention when I did this with washing the dog, was just to have the audio, but there was too many snippets of usable dialogue in that dog washing video that it made it just way too difficult. So I figured if I can just throw a total audio clip over the top of a total video clip, boom, done. So that's the idea with this is this is for audio purposes only. So then I should just face you toward the vent so I'm not even tempted, right? I should. Speaking of the vent, I should probably just set you down on the ground because I don't know if this is blowing on you again. I'm gonna just turn it off. There we go. Shit, there's a freaking giant line. Damn it! Oh my god! I cannot be late to work again. So anyway. My mannerisms, and again, I touched on this before. If you ever record yourself and then spend a lot of time editing yourself, you'll pick up on your mannerisms, and I've identified mine. I almost hate to point it out because if you guys haven't noticed, I don't want to point it out. Kind of like when my husband and I rented a house that was off the interstate for a couple of years when we were first together. And as I'd said before, I grew up across the street from a quarry. Well, between us and the quarry was a highway, but you know, we were a couple hundred yards from the highway, so I didn't hear like the regular cars going by, but there was lots of gravel trucks and ready mix trucks, so a lot of truck noise, the you know, that thunderous boom when they hit bumps and their truck is empty. So I'm used to it. Well, my husband wasn't used to, I can't do that. I'm gonna sweat. I gotta turn on the air. Sorry, I'm gonna just move you down to the ground here. You guys can stare at the, oh, you're not staring, you're watching me paint something. So I'm used to the noise, my husband wasn't, and we moved into this house that we were renting next to the interstate. And we're out in the yard, and he made this complaint about how he absolutely hated it because of the road noise from the interstate. And we had already been there for a few months at this point, and I had never ever noticed the car noise. It's like white noise in the background you don't notice. Well, as soon as he brings it up, now I'm focused on it, and for that entire summer all I could hear was the cars driving by where I had never noticed it. So that's why I'm kind of apprehensive to point out my mannerisms. You guys, if you've noticed them, you already know them. If you haven't noticed them, I don't want to give you that thing that you're going to hyper focus on. Okay, so I've got a standoff in the street here a pit bull and a chihuahua. I don't know what's going on. I guess they're part of the same family, but the pit bull's on one side of the street, the chihuahua's on the other, with the man yelling at the chihuahua, or yelling at the pit bull to come back. Because on the other side of the street is a utility worker in an orange vest that the pit bull wandered over by. So this is, oh, now the pit bull's coming alongside the car here. All right, hang on, let me show you. Here he goes. There he is. At least he's a friendly pit bull. And then the chihuahua is back there. Go home. Or go potty. Whichever one strikes your fancy. Honey buns. Okay. Alright, well, again, I'm just gonna set you. It doesn't matter how I set you because we're not playing that game today. That's all you're gonna be looking at is my vent. Which, Jan, I watched the lint lizard video this morning. Thank you. Yeah, I could see why. Ooh, you almost fell off. I could see why your husband's CPAP hose and like a coat hanger would work a lot better than that flimsy thing. But thank you for the recommendation. I don't tend to buy much stuff though, so I did find her Vivian Tries. I did find her sense of humor amusing, and if I had more time on my hands I'd probably watch more of her stuff. But as far as, I got so much stuff I'm already doing, I don't know. But yes, that was good. And if anybody hasn't heard of it, her series is called Vivian Tries, and when you search for Vivian Tries, it'll come up to her old channel that apparently she doesn't post to anymore, but then in that channel you'll find a link to her current channel where she does the Vivian Tries episodes. Okay, I just stuck it on the windshield. Probably, you know, not really what I wanted to do, but oh well. I'm just gonna have to buy like a regular. That's actually kind of nice. I always feared putting it on the windshield because between the rear view mirror and the cell phone, you got like hardly any. It's just a huge blind spot right in the middle of your windshield. You can't see jack shit, and it's a little tiny car with a little tiny windshield, so it's like the little lens that you look out your door to see if somebody's there, and then, you know, take up half of that. So tiny little windshield in this car. It's kind of like, yeah, it's like if you were to make a car out of like the box from your washing machine. I mean, that's the size of my car. You can practically touch the front and back bumpers at the same time while you're sitting in the driver's seat. Itty bitty little thing. But that's why I like it, because all my men in my family, all my boys, they're all over 6 feet tall, and it's not comfortable for them to use it. So this is just, son of a bitch. I'm gonna go around when I get to this light. I'm gonna figure something else out, because this is ridiculous. Or not light, his stop sign. I'm going to turn because I can't deal with this again. Because if you remember, that school is yet another traffic light past this stop sign. So with the painting, and now I've been showing stuff like the dog and all that. So that idea didn't work. If I ever stop showing anything of interest, and I probably have to blur out license plates too, huh? I have interesting people behind me too. Maybe that's what I should do. Instead of showing the front, I'll just show who's behind me. Then I don't have to worry about license plates, because in Florida you don't have to have a front license plate on your car. Let's do that. There. That works, huh? So yeah, I gotta I'm gonna turn at this stop sign and go a different way. So I've been watching, I've watched more of Gwen's. I'm up to, let's see, I just watched her Diamond Art Club unboxing, and holy crikey, she got 8 paintings from Diamond Art Club. Oh my God. But I am so glad, Gwen, that you got all those. I'm so jealous. I want to dislike you, but I can't. So, that's fantastic, and I'm glad that you were able to use my discount code to get it, and that now you have your own discount code. Same thing for Brandy. Awesome. Glad that you were able to get stuff and a discount code. And I know that they had given me information about the affiliate program a while back, but last time I looked, well, I shouldn't say it. When they sent it, it wasn't live. And the link that they gave me doesn't go anywhere. So do you guys know when that goes live, when it actually works? Because my understanding was the discount code, I don't think we get any kind of credit or anything. That's not anything to do with the affiliate program. That's just to give our viewers advantage in trying out the product. I don't think it, I don't know. But anyway, but the affiliate program was going to be like a link. And I don't think that that is up yet. Unless I'm just missing the boat on that one. Kind of like I'm missing the boat on the Amazon affiliate stuff, because I don't buy from Amazon. So, you know, as far as it goes with me, you know, if I ever make any kind of money from my channel, it's most likely not going to be, it's not going to be with product links, because I never buy anything. I'm too cheap. I'm too cheap to spend any money on anything very often. So yeah, no, I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go around this. Okay, we're turning. Can't deal with this at all. Because yeah, it goes, holy hell. Time to get out of Dodge here. Okay, so oh my god, it's 8:07. Shit. So yeah, I'm not gonna be like doing any kind of like product reviews on a regular basis, or, you know, having affiliate links to Amazon stuff and all of that. I mean, I'll eventually figure it all out and have it, but it's not going to be any kind of income source for me, because I can't recommend stuff that I didn't buy. It's just not going to happen. So, you know, for me, I'll just be happy to, you know, it would be just nice to make enough to kind of help keep me going with the channel, because, you know, like I said, we're working off of one income right now with my husband and I, and 2 kids in college, and I work in a call center. So yeah, I make less here than I did in Wisconsin, and so yeah, we're not comfortable. Let's put it that way. Not comfortable. So, been trying to catch up on Brandy's last 2. Get ready to paint with. Get ready to drill with me. The first of the 2, part 1. I'm now on like my 4th time watching it. Because I have been watching it while I'm doing other stuff over and over again, and I keep getting distracted and then the end comes and I'm like, I don't know what she was talking about, and realizing that I stopped paying enough attention to be like engaged anymore, and then I'll start it again and again and again, and so I don't want to watch the next one till I feel like I've really absorbed everything she had to say in the first one. So I even last night I put it on with one earbud in and listened while I went to sleep so that I could, you know, listen to it. And while I was listening to it, and I guess that was probably my 4th time through, I heard her say my name. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know she brought me up in that. She was talking about trying to smooth down the paper, and she mentioned me in her comments. So yeah, I'm working on that one again. And Off My Rocker had her first giveaway, and so that was cool to see. And she is super generous. She did a giveaway at 100 subscribers, which is more than I did. And not only that, but she didn't give away one painting, she gave away 2. So, incredibly generous lady. And having 100 subscribers, 100 plus subscribers, you know, she was going through her subscriber list, and she said she only had 26 subscribers because everybody else was hidden. So, I mean, if you were one of her subscribers, you had really good odds of winning one of those paintings, because you had, like, what, 2 in 26, which comes down to, you know, the first person had a 1 in 13 shot. And then, of course, once that person was pulled out of the bowl, then you had a 1 in 25 shot, which is, what, a 4% chance of winning? Yeah, I'm a math nerd. I like to do math in my head. So, yeah, that was really cool. Those 2 people. And then, let's see, oh my God. So last night, I had no sooner loaded up the debut of the map, and I immediately went to working on my Excel spreadsheet for everybody's bios and going through the comments, because the easiest way to do it is on the laptop, because I can have Excel open and the comments open and copy and paste everything right from one to the other. And I was, you know, working away at that. Now I'm stuck in the freaking short line again. I'm on the short bus, kids. Okay, here we go. Change lanes, get in here. So, so I was moving everything over, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, and my husband had been taking a nap, his typical late afternoon nap. He gets up. The man is like working himself to death. He has always gotten up at like 3 in the morning, but these days, here's his routine. He wakes up about 1 or 2. He gets up, goes out to the garage and works on his trailer until usually, well, it depends. Sometimes it's 11 in the morning, he'll come in for a nap, so by that point, you know, he's already been working for, what, 10 hours or something? 9, 10 hours. Other times he doesn't come in for a nap until as late as 4 in the afternoon, so at that point, he's already been working like 15 hours, and then he'll take a nap, about a 2-hour nap, and then he gets back up, whatever time it is, and then he'll work again until like 8 or 9 at night. And then he goes to sleep. Let's call it 9 o'clock, and then he's up again at 1 in the morning, and he's been doing this for about a year. Ooh, my car's making weird noises. So there was a reason for that. Oh, so he's to the point where he's reassembling his trailer, and he's got his website. It's up, it's not public, but it's all put together by the marketing company, and he had me write some of the About Us section about Brian, about me, some of the family info, family owned business, blah blah blah. And then he wrote all of the sections on all the different services, and basically tons of links and pages and blah blah blah. And so he had me proofread and edit all of his information, and then they put it on the website, and now he has me looking. He came upstairs to ask me to go through the website and scrutinize over it, and I'm a hypercritical person, so okay. But I mean, it was like, I know I did the proofreading and everything on the first one that we submitted, and now, depending on my frame of mind, now I'm looking at it going, what the hell? This makes no sense. Just long, complex sentences, and, you know, the grammar and punctuation and sentence structure and everything. It's just, so I was like doing that last night until late. And then when he finally hit the wall and said he was going to bed, then I immediately, you know, minimized that and brought up my YouTube and saw all the comments from the nameless relative and burst out laughing, and I hear him shout from upstairs, "What's so funny?" I'm like, nothing. Because now he busted, and I stopped working for him and started looking at my own stuff. But so this morning I showed him the clip of nameless relative, and for the first time in a long time he actually enjoyed one of my little videos that I showed him. He's just had his mind so entwined in what he's doing that he hasn't been able to find any joy in watching my stuff. It's just a distraction. So it was good to see him kind of actually laugh. So I had so much fun with the nameless relative. I was a little nervous that somebody out there might be offended by that, but I'm trying not to be mean. I actually had a cousin who dated a guy whose parents were brother and sister, but I figured somebody might be offended by it, and I'm sorry if I did. I certainly don't mean to offend anybody. It does get kind of hard in today's climate to be able to, you know, joke around about things without offending somebody, you know, but I was talking to my son about it, saying I was nervous about putting that out there, that I might offend somebody, and he kind of looked at me like, who in the world would ever speak up and go, hey, my parents are brother and sister, you got a problem with that? Well, no, I don't. I really don't. You know, it's completely fine. My whole take on it was just the potential for birth defects with having such closely related DNA. That's all. Not that birth defects are funny either. Again, I'm just digging myself a hole on this, so I'm sorry if I did offend anybody, but, you know, I try and find something safe to joke about. So, I know. But yeah, the Snapchat, for those of you who are not familiar with it, don't feel bad, because I didn't know what it was a year ago either. But that's, you know, what I use to create all of my characters is Snapchat, and the filters that they have are temporary. You know, they switch them out for different things all the time. And I'm really sad because, you know, some of my favorite characters, those filters are no longer there. Like Tabitha. If you haven't seen any of the Tabitha videos, Tabitha was one of my favorite characters I had. Tabitha was like, she was kind of a mousy, quiet closet lush. Well, not lush. She was a closet drinker. She didn't think she had a problem, but she did. And I kind of thought of her as, you know, kind of like the early 20s librarian, just, you know, kind of a little nerdy, kind of me. She was me with a drinking problem. And I always kind of imagined her as, you know, maybe being like a Wiccan or something, you know, a little weirdness there. Not that being a Wiccan is weird. I rented my upper floor of my house. I had a 2-family house in Wisconsin, and the people that rented the upstairs, she was a witch. It was completely fine with me. She was a good witch, like Glenda. I don't judge. Well, everybody judges. I try not to judge, and I may judge, but I judge on a glass half full. Rose-colored glasses when I judge. I don't know. My husband gets on me because he thinks I'm too accepting of other people and their lifestyles or whatever. Not lifestyle. I don't know how to, this is such a touchy subject. Oh God, I should just shut up, right? But yeah, I mean, with neighbors are playing loud music or whatever, I'm very tolerant of it. I'm like, you know, we make noise, so let them too. And he is more of the, I don't know, everybody should just kind of, you know, try to fit in, and I'm like, everybody should stand out and let their freak flag fly. So yeah, we don't necessarily see eye to eye on that, but, you know, I've had enough discussions with him about it that I can certainly respect his opinion. You know, we were all raised a certain way, and we've had these kind of these ideas instilled in us from a young age, and it's really hard to change that. You know, your beliefs. I'm not trying to change anybody's belief system, and if he believes that, you know, you go through life trying to not create waves to blend in and conform to the norm, then let him do that. I can say his ideal is kind of the whole idea of the Stepford wives kind of thing. That's his ideal fantasy of what life should be like, you know, kind of that 1950s sitcom kind of life. But to me, that's not reality, and I don't want that reality. Shit, it's 8:22. Oh my God, this is just ridiculous. Okay, I'm gonna have to start getting up way earlier, which means I have to go to bed way earlier, which means my entire life has got to change starting today. Oh, now we've got a car accident. Sucks for you. Sorry, honey. 3-car pileup. So, now that I've driven past a 3-car pileup, I'm going to give you all a little insurance advice for your auto policies. Depending on what state you are in, there's a couple of states that the state requirement for your property damage liability is only $5,000. Now, again, depending on when you're watching this video, I'm in 2018, okay? California, state minimum, $5,000 property damage. I think Pennsylvania, also 5. I could be wrong, or maybe it's Maryland. There's another one up on the Northeast, $5,000 state minimum. Don't do that. Do not cover yourself for $5,000. That is not even going to fix a bumper. It's not even going to fix a scratch on a bumper. Repainting a bumper is going to cost more than $5,000. And as we just drove by, one car hit another, which pushed that into the next one. So 3 cars. And the at-fault driver is 99.9% going to be the person in the back who hit everybody else. So you're going to pay for the repairs on 2 cars. If you're carrying $5,000 in property damage, that ain't going to cover it. You're on the hook, okay? And a lot of states, it's $10,000. That is not going to cover it either. Okay? Minimum that I would even consider is $25,000, and that I would even say, That's if you only hit 1 car and you total the sucker, okay? And it's not like a really nice car. But I'm thinking you got to carry at least $50,000 in property damage to like minimize your financial risk. Same thing with your bodily injury, people. Lots of places it's $10,000 per person, $20,000 per accident. That's what it is in Florida. That's just being stupid. Okay? The price of your insurance, look at it. If you go to the next step up, typically those increments for each tier they get smaller increments with each one you go up. Don't go around with only $10,000 in property damage. Just the ambulance ride alone, forget it. You're going to dig yourself a bigger hole. You really are. If you can't afford your car insurance right now, you know, and you're going with state minimum and something happens, you're going to get yourself into a hole that you just might not be able to get out of for years to come. So carry enough insurance, people. And if you can't afford it, then I don't know, are you in a place where you can use public transportation? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It's a lot of because I work in the insurance industry, you'll hear a lot of people talking about whether driving is a right or a privilege. And some people get all upset. Tends to be that the consumers say it's a right, and the people working in the industry, the insurance industry, will argue it's a privilege. Personally, I feel like it kind of is. It's both. It's both. It's your right to take the test and get your license and pass the test. And once you've passed the test, you know, you have the right to drive. However, there are requirements that need to be met in order to be a responsible driver. Taking the test, knowing the rules of the road, being a responsible driver, following the rules, the laws, and with all compliance with all of that, it's your right to drive. Now, it's a privilege in that we offer this fantastic network of roads to the public, but your privilege is in that you've got all this available to you, but you need to follow all of the requirements in order to make it your right. I have the right to drive if I meet all of these things. I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm not explaining it well, the difference between the right and the privilege. It's a privilege in that you have to do certain things to make it your right to drive. If you're following everything, you have the right to drive. If you've done nothing wrong and you've got your insurance and you've got all that, you have the right to drive. But if you're not doing all that, consider it a privilege. And if you don't do it, it's a privilege that you haven't earned. There we go. If you haven't done what you need to, you haven't earned the privilege to have the right to drive. So if you can't afford it, And I get that. I've been poor. I've been a poor single mother who gave the kids the hamburger helper without the hamburger for years. We all would have dinner. It was ramen soup. I mean, I've been there. And, you know, I did what I had to in order to get myself back and forth to work. I lived 2 blocks from where I worked, and I walked. So, and, you know, my kids walked to school. And I walked to school when I was a kid. Now, depending on where you live, it's not always an option, but do not drive uninsured. Call Uber, whatever. Don't do it. Don't be an idiot. So that's my advice, my insurance advice. If you're not sure what you have, check your policies. If you're in a state like Florida, make sure you have bodily injury. They call it a tag policy. If you've got just the state requirement in Florida, the state just requires property damage. They don't require you to carry bodily injury. And there's some shady insurance agents and companies that will sell you these tag policies where you've got just the property damage and the personal injury protection at minimums. You have no bodily injury. And if that's the case with you, you can end up in a world of hurt if you get in an accident and you injure somebody because you don't have any coverage to pay for their medical expenses. And the whole idea is that financial responsibility requirements in Florida are that if you don't carry bodily injury, you are essentially saying that you're self-insured, meaning you have enough money yourself. Your finances will allow for you to pay the minimum that the state requires, which is $20,000 per person, $10,000 per person for bodily injuries, maximum payout of $20,000 on a given accident, and then $10,000 on your property damage. So if you don't carry bodily injury, you're saying I've got $20,000 available to me in my finances that I'm not going to buy insurance through a company. If something happens, I'll pay out of pocket. So if you get in an accident and somebody's injured and you don't have $20,000, guess what? What they're going to end up doing is they're going to make you carry a financial responsibility filing on your policy, or commonly known as an SR-22, and you'll have to carry that for 3 years, which means your insurance rates are going to go up. You're going to pay a surcharge and a filing fee each term on your policy for 3 years. You're going to have points on your driving history that's going to cause your rates to go up for 3 years. That ticket that you get is going to stay on your driving record for 5 years. And in some cases, depending on the circumstances, they may require you for the next 3 years to pay for your entire policy premium up front each term. So instead of being able to make monthly installments, you got to come up with, if it's like a 6-month policy or a year policy, you got to come up with the whole thing all at once to buy your insurance for that period. And then in 6 months, you got to cough it up again, and you're going to have to do that for 3 years. And you're also going to still have whatever the financial responsibility that's been instilled on you from the accident, and the medical bills. They could sue for lost wages, pain and suffering, all of that. Garnish your wages, seize your assets. So keep that in mind, my fellow Floridians. Check your auto policies, see if you have bodily injury, and look at what your limits are and see. If I really did some damage or somebody was hurt, is this going to be enough to cover it? Now, I know it's difficult. It's very difficult for some people to afford it, but there are necessities in life, and this, again, is one of those things that my husband and I don't agree on. We don't see eye to eye. I forego any kind of comforts, creature comforts, entertainment expenses, unnecessary luxuries in my mind if I don't have my basic needs met. And to me, if you need your car to get your kids to school, or to get to the store to buy food for your family, or to get to work to make the money to pay the bills, then your car insurance is a basic need. And that comes before that new top, the bag of Cheetos. Cheetos are not a necessity. Before that new color of nail polish. Before any of those things that are not absolute needs. You take care of your needs first, and then, you know, food, shelter, clothing, transportation in today's world. Then what's left after you've paid all of those bills, that's disposable income. Nail polish and, you know, that cute little handbag, or the bag of Cheetos and the soda, those you use your disposable income for. Now, I don't mean to start lecturing people on how to spend your money, but working in insurance, you know, I take calls all day long with people who are having trouble paying their bill, and their insurance is getting canceled and all kinds of stuff. And my job is to try and help those people, either, you know, getting the rate down, or trying to figure out something with the bills to get it so that they can pay it and get their insurance active again, get them back on the road so they can get back and forth to work. I deal with it all day long. And maybe I'm getting a little jaded. Some of the people I truly feel for them. I mean, there's plenty of people out there that are on disability and they're waiting for their check, and they've got hardly anything to live on. I get it. I get it. But it's when the people who call up because they're at the dealership because they just got a new car, and by new I mean new. I'm not talking, you know, I'm buying a 2009 car like I did. Okay, they're getting a new car, and they're trying to get their insurance reinstated, and they let it cancel for non-payments. And, you know, I hear them saying, yeah, I'll take the blah, 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 add in floor mats, and they're buying all this extra crap for this brand new car that they don't need. And, you know, I can hear them telling the kids, yeah, we're gonna go to you know, Chuck E. Cheese after this, and they're spending this money, and yet I'm looking at the billing history on their previous policy, and every single month they got a non-payment cancel notice, and then paid it on the last day, and then a non-payment cancel and paid it on the last day, over and over and over, and finagling their finances. You know, well, can I put half on this card and half on that, and half, and no, I'm sorry, I don't have sympathy for those people, and I'm not going to bend over backward to help them out, because you're being irresponsible. Grow up, people. So yeah, I might be turning a lot of people off with my little rant about all of this right now, but I'm sorry. I work in customer service, and I deal with people and their financial problems all day long, and 95% of them I have sympathy and empathy for. I understand, you know, if it's a situation where I've been through it, I understand it, and I can, and people who are in situations that I can't understand or can't fathom how hard that is for them, I I can only imagine what that's like. So I'll do whatever I can to help those people out. But yeah, I do get a little miffed with the people who are just working the system. That's bullshit. Sorry. And oh God, I want to tell this story. It's 8:39. I'm like late. Gonna have to use paid time off. I'm gonna have to leave a half an hour earlier every day because I'm gonna be at least 20 minutes late. And even given a half an hour, that means I'd only give myself wiggle room of 10 minutes, and I like to have 20 minutes of wiggle room, so I gotta leave 45 minutes early from now on. So instead of leaving at 7:45, I'm now gonna have to leave at 8 o'clock, which means now oh my God, I'm gonna have to get up before 6. I didn't even finish drying my hair this morning. I mean, I like dried the front and left the back wet, threw it up in a barrette because, God dang. So again, I don't mean to offend people, and I really don't mean to, you know, get all serious and scolding people and stuff. My channel was meant to bring happiness and humor into people's lives and not, you know, lecturing you. So, but, you know, every once in a while it's not too bad to have a little reality check. So, I don't know. I welcome anybody's comments, though. Please don't be a hater. Don't yell at me. I'm not yelling at you specifically. I'm yelling at, you know, the people who are doing those things I'm talking about. So don't yell at me, but I welcome your opinions. In your experience, how do you view that whole subject? What's been your experience? What's your take? What's your opinion? What's your advice? And don't tell me I'm wrong, but tell me where there's flaws in my view. Because I'm not wrong. It is applicable to some circumstances, but what circumstances am I neglecting to see? Where does my idea not work? Please, I'm open to other ideas. So, but let's do it in a kind way, please. After I just bitched about how people are idiots. I didn't name names. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to slide my schedule, because you can only do it in 30-minute increments. I looked into it last time. Or if I'm just going to use paid time off, which rounds to 15-minute increments. It's 8:43. I think by the time I get there, the thing that makes the most sense is to slide. Clock in at 9, which means then I'm going to have to work till 5:30. Yeah, this is not making me happy with this whole morning commute. But you know, if I'm able to do enough videos and insert this audio, it might end up working out okay. But apparently some of you, you know, don't mind, because you're not watching anyway, you're just listening while you're diamond painting. So I guess it doesn't matter what I'm doing. Just keep talking, just keep talking. So Gwen, you know, I recently was talking about having a little, you know, gimmick for the days of the week, Tangent Tuesdays. Well, Gwen, I can't steal your idea, but awesome. Whip Wednesdays, Work in Progress Wednesdays. Sucks. Do I get to like default steal it because my name's Wendy? Wendy's Whip Wednesdays. And then I want to name my drive videos something. Is it going to be daily commute, or is it going to be string them all together and post them on Sundays and call it the Sunday Drive and just show all the videos from my commute all week. Sunday drives. That way, if I actually like put them all on there on Saturday night and I schedule them to release on Sunday, then you'd have your Sunday drive videos, even though they're going to be Tuesday through Saturday, me actually driving, but post them on Sundays. What do you think? Sunday drive or daily commute? So Tangent Tuesdays, those would be a stick with me, because I go on my tangents mostly on stick with me. But also, the drive could be Tangent Tuesdays too, because I go on the tangents every time I open my mouth. Whip Wednesdays, Thursday. Give me ideas for what to call a video that goes out on a Thursday, people. Friday. Saturday. Monday, you know, the first thing that pops into everybody's mind probably is Manic Monday. And Mondays are my day off. And I go manic because I'm trying to get everything done on a Monday, so Manic Mondays are maybe just updates of everything I've got in the works, like tours of my craft room, and which is kind of like a work in progress. Work in progress would just be, you know, whatever I've got going, and then just insert photos of where I'm at on my different stuff, rather than actually, like, because showing what I've got going is not going to take up much time. I ain't got a lot going on. In the physical world. In the mental world, there's a lot going on up there. So this was a really long tangent, bringing it back around to the Snapchat, and the reason that I brought it up is the filters go away, and I ended up on Tabitha, but filters disappear, and Tiny, I haven't seen him available as a filter in a long time, so we haven't seen Tiny, and I'm sad, because Tiny is no more. I've been watching for him, but he's no more. But, you know, we now have the nameless relative to take his place. So we got that. And naming off the characters, that was Jan's idea. Thank you, Jan. So her other idea was, because Jan says she is most like Margaret or Maggie to her friends. Which characters do you most resemble, either in personality or physical appearance or whatever? Who do you identify with? Now, I know I only was able to name a couple because not all of those filters are there, so I might take some still shots of past characters and throw a name on them, and you know, maybe do a little montage on this one, a little photo album, if you will, of the Gone Off My Meds family. And I'd love to hear from you guys. Who's your character? Who is your what do they call it? Doppelganger? Either in personality or appearance, or whatever. Explain it to me. Who's your doppelganger? Who's your twin? And also, of course, as usual, anybody who wants to be added to the map, let me know. Name, hometown, and a little bit about yourself so I can add you to the list. I'm going to release a few of those at a time because it takes, like I said, it's about 3 minutes a person. That's 5 hours worth of recording, and that ain't going to work. So my screen just flashed. I don't know if I lost a clip there or not, but let me know, and I'll do a drive home. I don't know if that'll be separate, probably, because this one's over 47 minutes, so it's way too long for another whole drive home. Gotta go. Okay, so slid my schedule 30 minutes back, which meant I was supposed to then work from, you know, 9 to 5:30. And then I got stuck on a call for a long time and didn't take any of my breaks and stuff. And by now it's already 5:30, so I'm like, well, hell, I'm going to take my break and get paid for it. Paid break. So it's 6:15, and my stand is like, I've lost all adhesion. I'm gonna have to use some Aleene's Instant Tacky to keep that sucker on there. And it's dead. It's not sticky at all anymore. My little suction cup thingy is not gonna stick. I need. Holy shit! Hold on. I guess that's okay. It's gonna fall off again. I know it. I need to get a new bracket. This is not working out for me. Oh, and that reminds me, that stupid pop socket bracket. I'm not going to be able to adjust the angle at all with that. It's dumb for $10, and I took it out of the package, so I'm not going to be able to return it. I'll figure something out to use that for. Pooped. I feel like I went to work in my pajamas. I never wear t-shirts, and I wore a t-shirt over some of those, you know, beachy capri pant things I've got with the, you know, maternity waistband elastic on it, because that's how I roll. But yeah, and then some of it, and then a t-shirt on top of it. And then, ooh, I put it in neutral. Yeah, this is not working. Okay, done.
Hey everybody. So, my name is Pumpkin. It's actually really Patty, but I like to go by Pumpkin. And I love watching her drive back and forth to work. It's the highlight of my day. You know what? Keep the channel. I don't want my name associated with it anymore. Take me off that map. You wrecked it.